We're spiking the coffee. We've run out of wine today.
Well, we didn't run out, we just are unprepared.
Oh! That's just whiskey. Hi, I'm Dionne.
And I'm Matthew Bunker. And we don't know shit. Like our lines.
Today we're going to talk about SB 562.
We know what SB stands for.
Senate bill.
It's not infrastructure.
No, it's probably not infrastructure this time, right?
I was trying to make a joke.
That fell flat. Drugs.
Alcohol? Oh, I was hoping it was about drugs or alcohol.
Me too.
Healthcare.
Which, as it turns out, is very complicated.
I feel like all you need to know is that nobody's gonna have it. That's
Okay,
our video.
right.
This was Know Your Shit. You got healthcare?
Yeah, I'm covered under the Obamacare.
This days are numbered.
Exactly. So, probably not for long.
I do have healthcare, but that's only because my boyfriend has a real job.
Aww. I don't understand how a Western country does not have universal healthcare.
Why is healthcare so expensive?
As we discussed in SB1, greed, and more greed.
The problem is that healthcare is a necessity. Pharmaceutical companies and medical companies can charge whatever they want because it's not like you're going to turn down chemo.
So you said greed, and greed. I'm glad you said three. Because we have the insurance companies, we have the medical device companies, and then we have the pharmaceutical companies. And those are the three companies that profit the most from our healthcare. So in the UK, the maternal mortality rate is 9.2 per 100,000. That's the number of women who die during childbirth.
What is it in the US?
4.7, 6.7, 7.3, or 7.8.
I mean, you would hope it's low, but the UK is a very well-off country, so...
7.8 then?
So it shouldn't be. So 4.7 is Ireland's maternal mortality rate. 6.7 is the Netherlands. 7.3 is Canada. And 7.8 is France.
So, basically, none of the above.
If you add all four of those
No.
numbers together...
No, don't say that, don't say that.
Are you kidding?
You get exactly the US maternal mortality rate, which is 26.4.
Holy shit.
Why are you guys that high?
You're
I'm
here
saying
now.
on the UK
You're
side.
here.
So the graph has two sides. The vertical side is the life expectancy. So this is a way to measure the quality of healthcare in each country. And the bottom one is health expenditure, the cost of healthcare. So you have Japan with the highest life expectancy in the world, but it's pretty expensive.
Not nearly
Not
as expensive
compared
as
to the US,
us.
and the life expectancy is tiny.
So we spend the most and live the least.
And does Japan have universal healthcare?
Every other country has universal healthcare.
If we can see this through the graph, and it's only taken us 1 minute, what?
It's because
What do you need to know?
This video is going to be real political because I can't keep my opinions to myself. It's because people like fucking Paul Ryan just want to do things the capitalist way that will make everyone the most money. And by everyone, I mean the people that are already fucking rich and lining their pockets and they don't give a shit about the people. Ooh, I'm already heated.
This is insane.
There's a couple of things I want to point out here. One, clearly we are an outlier.
You mean liars.
Also, there is a lot of variation between these other countries. So they all have universal healthcare, but they don't all necessarily do it the same way. We can say we agree there should be universal healthcare, but how do we get there is the more difficult question that we look at.
Well, first we get rid of all of our politicians. What is Medi-Cal? What is Covered California? And what is the difference?
I think Covered California is like universal healthcare. I think Medi-Cal is the old system of what you used to have.
I think Medi-Cal is California's version of like Medicare, which is like government paid healthcare. And then Covered California is our healthcare marketplace.
Okay, you're half right. So,
Yeah, half right. I was no right.
so let's go back in time. 1960, how many people were uninsured in America?
25%.
We got that number way down in the 70s. We created two things.
Medicare and Medicaid.
So what's the difference?
Medicare is for old people,
How old?
65. And Medicaid is for poor people, children,
vets,
disabled.
Yeah, and it worked. The uninsured rate went down to about what?
15.
15.
15%. And then it stayed that way for a long time until...
ACA.
Which was...
Obamacare.
So Obamacare lowered the uninsured rate again. By doing many things, changing the rules for pre-existing conditions, allowing kids to stay on their parents' healthcare until they're 26. But the two biggest things were one, creating the healthcare exchanges, which has covered California, and two, massively expanding Medicaid to include more people. That happened on a state-by-state basis. Long story short, covered California is the exchanges where you pay for healthcare but it's partially subsidized. Medi-Cal is California's version of Medicaid.
What income do you need to qualify for Medi-Cal? Probably real low.
Yeah, 16,395 or less for a single person, or 22,108 for a couple.
I mean, how are you surviving on $16,000 a year?
Barely.
That's real low.
1/3 of Californians are on Medi-Cal.
Oh.
Damn, people be poor. Like, I can't imagine me surviving on $22,000 a year alone, and then having a couple, and then if you wanted to have a child.
There'd be no eating out.
Well, that's a sad marriage.
There'd be no dining out. There'd be no takeaway coffee. What percentage of Californians are uninsured? I bet you it's high. 70%? No, is that too high?
That's way too high. There's no hope left in this woman.
No. Let's say 35.
Let's say 38. In 2013, it was 16%. Now it's only 7.1%.
Oh.
Thanks, Obama.
7.1% is great when we're thinking of percents, but think about how many millions of people live in California. So as a raw number, that's hundreds of thousands of people.
He just took the wind right out of my sails. What's up with the AHCA? What's up with it?
What's up with it? I don't know, because I don't even think they know what's up with it. Wasn't it like a one-page document?
No, it was a long-page document that nobody chose to read. They originally made the first Trump Care. They didn't even go to a vote because they knew that they weren't going to get the amount of votes. So they remade one like last minute, pushed it through the House.
Yes, we don't really know exactly what's in it, but the big parts are they will keep a few parts of Obamacare, including allowing kids to stay on their parents' insurance till they're 26. They will reinstitute pre-existing conditions. The states will be allowed to choose which pre-existing conditions qualify and which don't. Seniors will be able to be charged up to 5 times more.
To charge more?
Yes.
Because when you're older, you have more pre-existing conditions. You're about to fucking kick the bucket, so...
Not at 65, you're not. You still have like 30 years left.
Older, sicker, poorer people lose.
Yes.
Richer, younger, healthier people win. The biggest part of Trump Care is cutting those Medicaid expansions that increase the size of Medi-Cal. That's because they want to cut the taxes on the rich. They'll save about $800 billion in the top 2% of America, while estimated 24 million people will lose health insurance.
So it's costing poor people more, rich people less, and everybody's dying.
What is single-payer healthcare?
Single-payer healthcare, I think, is what we have currently, isn't it?
No,
it's what they want to go to.
It's what we want to go to. So basically,
It's a
is it
single-payer-
universal healthcare so that everyone can afford healthcare? The government just subsidizes we use our taxes to pay for...
She's just grasping at things right now. She's just yelling things out until Josh gives her a yes.
The government pays for our healthcare.
That's it. Single-payer healthcare is what all those other countries have, where the government pays for one thing. Right now, SB 562 is going through the California Congress, which would create single-payer healthcare in the state of California for the first time in American history.
Oh, so that's what SB 562 is. Have we tried it before?
I want to say yes only because he's asking us this question.
Right, and he's a trickster.
Twice, we have voted to pass single-payer healthcare, but both times Arnold Schwarzenegger vetoed it.
He's the Terminator.
So we do need to look at our past efforts to understand how, if we want this to pass in California, it could work. We also need to understand that there are obstacles in creating a state healthcare system that are different from that of a national healthcare system. In 2014, Vermont tried to become the first state to create single-payer healthcare. After a long fight, they ended up failing. The issue was that to cover all these people, you have to raise taxes. Vermont's a small state. There was no way that it would be possible financially to raise these taxes enough to pay for single-payer healthcare for everyone. California probably wouldn't have that problem. We're a really big state, but we are going to have to raise the taxes. One more thing. Remember, the Democrats controlled all of Congress and the presidency in 2008, but we didn't create single-payer healthcare. So there are democratic obstacles to single-payer healthcare as well. Feinstein does not support single-payer healthcare. Actually, a few weeks ago, she came out against single-payer healthcare, and then 3 days later had a fundraiser held by the insurance companies.
How will a new law work? A law? I've spent so much time being angry about healthcare that I kind of forgot what we're talking about. Oh, SB 562 about single-payer healthcare.
How will it work?
We'll raise taxes and the government will pay for our healthcare. I'm not 100% sure of what we're supposed to be saying here.
Yeah.
What's going to be included in the new law? If you're going to create single-payer healthcare, I would assume it would cover dental, vision.
Right,
and
because there are a lot of healthcares right now where your medical is covered, but you can't get eye tests or dental.
The state would pay for all medical expenses, including inpatient, outpatient, emergency services, dental, vision, mental health, and nursing home care.
Oh, so that would be nice because I feel like so many times when something bad happens, people don't want an ambulance to come take them to the hospital because they don't want to pay $5,000. If I have like a rebar shoved through my chest, I would hope that I could get in an ambulance. But currently, I would be like, no, I'm good.
I'm just going to get an Uber. Actually, I'm just going to pull that Uber so it's even cheaper.
How many stops are you going to make? It's fine. I'll try not to bleed on your seats.
Do you think it can happen? Do you want it to happen?
Well, yes, we both want it to happen.
Well,
Do you think it can happen? Oh, you don't want it to happen?
so I just worry about like how much they're going to raise our taxes to do it because it's like,
But if this covers your health care,
yes, it does sort of offset the cost, but I don't really pay that much in healthcare because I don't really use it that often.
okay, but tomorrow you could find a lump in your throat, and if you had single payer health, all that care would be taken care of.
But the thing I worry about too is there's so many countries I feel like that have universal healthcare, but it takes you like 3 months to get to a doctor.
Yeah, obviously nothing is perfect. The reassurance of even being on a list, I might be able to get coverage and maybe live to see
Yeah.
75.
We know that it's not working now. We know that these numbers are atrocious. We don't necessarily know what the solution is, but that's what we have to decide now.
What I'm loving right now is seeing so many people going to town hall meetings with these senators and standing up. The more we say, your job's going to be over in 2018, dude, get your shit together, then that's when this country
and on
will
both
come
sides
together.
of the aisle. We can have single payer.
I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime, though.
We don't bring her on the show for optimism. She's not going to make you feel better. If you would like to know your shit, subscribe to us on YouTube and like our page on Facebook.
If you have any comments or questions for us, leave them on our Facebook or YouTube page.
Facebook, YouTube.
And share with your friends. I'm Dionne,
And I'm Matthew Bunker.
and this was
Know Your Shit. Disgusting. Why are we James Bonding?